Hey world, welcome back to another episode of Be Inspired Podcast where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. So I got another awesome guest here tonight. Her name is Christina LaFrance. I call her Tina B. That's what I met her as. Welcome to the show, Tina B. I'm happy to have you. Fun fact about Tina, I met her back in 2016. And when I met her, she was building a company called LaFrance Tours, her brand. I want to give a quick shout out to Creative Dream Collectives. They create our flyers, they create everything, our shirt designs. So if you need any flyers, you need anything done, get in contact with them. I got their info on the bio. So Christina, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about
Hey, thank you for having me.
you're welcome. No problem. So tell us a little bit about you. I know you're a realtor, you're a tax consultant, along with a lot of other hats, but you're going there, you're going through it, you're building your business. How's it going so far on the journey?
As you said, I wear many different hats. Hands-on person, love having my hands in different projects. Business is going well, all is well. Far as me being a real estate agent, I'm also a real estate investor. I'm also a tax preparer. I notary signing agent. So all of those things are under my umbrella, different things.
Nice. So tell me a little bit a backstory because we're gonna go back and we're gonna get to where you are now. So tell me what was the most challenging part of running your tour guide business?
Well, when I was running my La France Tours business, it was actually something that I love to do. Ministry is one of the things that I enjoy most. Being out in the community, helping the community. When I was doing La France Tours, I was picking up and dropping off different kids from different, schools and things of that. Also entertaining on the entertaining side. I was taking people to Orlando, Jacksonville, different things like that. So just running a tour company was very successful and lucrative, for me. That's way before Uber and all these other companies came along. So it was a very, lucrative business.
So what was the point where you decided, all right, this isn't it, let's go ahead and shift gears?
I found a moment in my life, it comes a time where, feel like, okay, I've done this for a while. I'm getting pretty bored. And I've always been passionate about real estate, just didn't know how to get started. Until I met, I had a friend, his name is Simeon, and he introduced me, to the business. And I see that he was very successful in what he was doing. So we all sat down one day, had dinner, and we talked about it. I jumped right in and it's been great ever since.
Shout out to Simeon.
Yeah.
So I know I saw a post since being in real estate. I know I saw a post of you selling over $3 million in real estate already for this year.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are some of the things that push you? Because I know that you work for the government and you also did real estate and you just recently resigned. So tell us a little bit about how you were able to do that while working a full-time job.
Well, when I first got into real estate, as I said earlier, it was only because of my friend Simeon. Actually, I went from Section 8 to real estate. So I was on a government housing program where I lived out in Western. I had really good credit. My main goal was to fix my credit so that I can become a homeowner. Simeon at the time was my real estate agent. He told me about all the benefits of FHA and how it works. And I knew I wanted a multi property. So I purchased a duplex with my FHA loan. Working for the government, gave me leverage because I was able to save a down payment so that I could put down a payment, on my home.
Okay.
And once I closed on my first home, and I got into real estate with Simeon, he then told me, hey, won't you become a real estate agent? So when I became a real estate agent, my passion was to go back, help others fix their credit, and to help them become successful like I did. Because, like them, I was someone that wanted someone to show me the way. I needed guidance, and I didn't have anyone to do that for me. So, I feel like for me, real estate is ministry because I love happy endings. I love the opportunity to work with different families and help them get to their home ownership goals. And one part, and like about me, about myself, like I love to help. I love outreach. I love the community. I love helping others. So me being a real estate agent was one of the ways that I can, give back and help people fix their credit so they can get to their dreams as well.
That's awesome, man. So it's a little play in there that not many people know. So break it down a little bit because your first home was actually a multifamily property. So tell
Correct.
me the specifics and how you're able to gain income while owning a home just to begin with.
Well, it's one of the I like to call them a blessing. During the pandemic was a very critical time for a lot of people, but for me it was an opportunity that I saw and I had to take my chances. At the time the interest rate was a 2.75, and one of the benefits of having a duplex is because I brought so low, I brought so cheap, and they actually use one side of the duplex as income. So your income is one, and the bank counts the income from the duplex as another income. So that kind of like help you with your buying power. So you're able to, purchase a multifamily with FHA, and I get to live in one side. I rent the other side out. At the time, my mortgage was around 2,500 at the time. So that helps me, pay for my mortgage, and I get to live mortgage free. I don't pay a mortgage. I don't pay anything towards that. So those are one of the perks of having a multi-family property is that you get to live for free, and your
Yeah.
tenants basically, pay your mortgage. So those are the perks of, you know,
So
out of multi-family.
not only do you get to kind of live for free, but you bought at when the interest rate was at 2.75%.
Yeah,
So right now, you are appreciation appreciation because every year your property gains value, and then not
correct.
only that, rental income goes up. So you're actually winning now, so now you could pull out and reinvest in something, right?
Right, correct.
Nice. So what are you looking
Some of
at?
the perks of
Yep.
that, you can take out a HELOC. You have so many different options. This property is now worth over the price that I paid for it. So we're now at maybe 650,000 for a 4 bedroom, 2 bath unit. And I have almost, I want to say maybe 19 acres in the back, where I can build more. Yeah, I can take this property and leverage it, take the equity out, you take the HELOC, go purchase more properties or, whatever projects I want to do.
Wow, nice. What's your next move basically with this?
Well, I have so many different things that I'm working on. The upcoming season, I just launched my own tax business. I've been doing taxes for the last 5 years, and
Yes.
I was working with a company. I'm no longer with them. So I'm able to, work for myself. I do mobile tax. So it's a service where I come to you and it saved my customer money on fees because a lot of different tax preparers they charge certain amount of fees according to their overhead, and I don't have an overhead. Being that I'm a mobile tax professional, I can come out and take care of all your tax needs. You can call me 24-hour tax service during the tax year. So yeah, that's my next big move. I'm excited about that.
So before we get into the tax side of your business, so real estate has been one of your biggest things that help you to start your journey on life and with everything you're dealing with, right? So
Right.
how is it that what is your favorite part of doing real estate? I know you said helping people, but I know you do a lot of rentals. I know you do a lot of single families. What's the most exciting part for you?
The exciting part is closing day.
Getting that
Closing
check,
day.
baby.
Not only that, I love the exciting part of real estate, honestly, is just going out, showing properties, seeing all the different, properties and the value of homes. Like I get really excited just looking at different homes in different areas, just running the comps, things like that. I get really excited about that.
Okay, all right. So that's cool. So now let's get into a little bit about the tax side of it. So, what are some things that you're preparing your tax clients for this upcoming tax season? Because I know
Well,
every
I'm
year.
preparing my text. I'm so excited. So right now, I'm launching mobile text where my clients can go into a mobile app, upload all of their information on a secure app. Just interacting with them, going over the different tax laws, getting them prepared for the new upcoming season, going over different things because the IRS is always changing. They always have something new.
Every year.
This year, yeah, every year is something new. So I went to the tax reform, and I'm educated in the different new tax laws. So I'm excited to share some of the tax laws with my clients.
Okay. So I found this new play which relates to real estate and also taxes and all this stuff. So before you left your company, and if this is too personal, you could say, look, like I ain't trying to share. But did you also invest in your 401k?
Yeah, so I have a 401k with my previous employer. And because I retired myself, I feel that I'm retired from the 9 to 5 thing. I'm actually going to take my 401k out next year, and I'm going to be launching some new business ventures.
Nice. So
Yes,
I'm glad you say that because not many people know that they can self-direct their IRA, right? After you leave
correct.
a company, you have to leave the company before, so because the company wants you to invest in their stocks. But it's interesting because you could take it out, invest it in real estate, and you get to keep it. So if you, a lot of people don't like the 401k, says it's not good, but it's money, it's free money and you're putting towards it, might as well take it out and use it the way you want to invest in
Right.
you want
And
it.
that's how I feel. The way the economy is going, the way things are changing, with government, far as politics, and I won't get into it. I just feel that at this time in my life, I really take a chance on myself. So they're investing my money for me. I should be investing my own money and making decisions for myself.
100%. So, what are some of the things or some of the books that you have read that got you to this point right here?
If I had to be completely honest, I read a lot of different books, self help books. I would say, if I had to be honest, I'm very spiritual. I read the Bible. The Bible is my book. It's my go to book right now. I learned from experience. Experience is the best teacher. If I had to give anybody any advice, I would say definitely tap into your spiritual connection, with God and really tap into who you are as a person. I would just say the Bible. I learned from experience, and I've been through many different experiences. And nobody's experience is not like your own experience because everybody don't relate to things the same. Everybody is different, yeah, when it comes to certain things, whatever the situation it is, especially when it comes to business. I take some business advice, but I have mentors like Joe Tubman. I love TD Jakes, ministries, Sarah Jakes. Some of those people are my leaders. Eric Thomas, I listen to a lot of different motivational speakers, but every day, my everyday motivation is God. And I listen to him, and that's what got me to where I am now.
Wow. So I'm happy that you brought the spiritual portion into it because now I know like you're walking in purpose. But however, how do you get to that point? Because every person have that moment where they could not do it no more by themselves. So they had to rely on something else. So what was that moment
I
for you?
was I would say for me, I would say mentors. Get a good mentor. I've had very good mentors in real estate. As my friend, my mentor, I would say that was Simeon. As far as with my mentor, as I express my pastors and every day, just mentally finding out who you are as a person. I would say my biggest mentor above all is myself because I pushed myself to get to where I am because I remember, yeah, I'm serious. I feel like you have to understand it's you against you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be in your own way of things. So you have to get out of your own way. It comes with a lot of growth. It comes with a lot of letting go of bad habits, and just tapping into who you are as a person and being serious and dedicated about what you want.
So when you said you gotta motivate yourself because it's you against yourself, right? The
Correct.
image that I got in my head is you remember those early morning workouts at LA Fitness?
Yeah.
You would be on the treadmill. Come
And
on,
I'll be
let's
go,
go. Let's
let's go.
go.
Let's go. I'll be talking to myself so you know.
And
Like
people
you
will be
know.
watching you and you just be going because you're motivating yourself. And that was just powerful because that just came to me. Like, because you really have to push yourself because
You
nobody
have
else
to
can push
push
you.
yourself. I really do, to be honest with you, I really do talk to myself. And it's so personal. I have those moments where it's quiet and it's just really about Christina. I really look myself in the mirror. I really talk to myself. Like, and people think, that's a crazy thing to do, but you really need to sit down with yourself and have a conversation. I
Yeah.
think that's very important to understand what is it that you really want. What is it that you're looking for? What's fulfillment for you? What does success look like for you? Because people think that success is it's gonna come to an end one day. Like, "Oh, this one day I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna have a lot of money." But what you don't understand is success is something that you show up for every day. Success doesn't have a deadline. Success never has an end, because once you think that you're at a point in your life that you're successful, you have to still be successful again in order to retain what you have. So it never ends. You're always successful every day. Getting up, trying your best, doing your best. That's success. Success is not a dollar amount. Success is not a glamorous house or car or a thing. Success is you. You taking care of yourself, you holding yourself accountable, and you showing up every day to be the best version of yourself. That's being successful to
Yeah,
me. That's what I think.
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think
It
for
never ends. It's one accomplishment after the next. Soon as I accomplish something, I'm like, okay, well, let me try this. And I do that, and it's like, oh, I did that. Okay, let me do something else. That's me. That's me being successful. Me
yeah.
being great at whatever it is that I want to
You
do.
said a few great things right there. And one of the things I want to highlight is that you have to sit with yourself and be quiet and be still and find out who you are. Because many of us we go through life taking on the personality, the life, the everything that everybody else wants you to be. But
Right.
you never stop and think, who do I want to be? And
Who
that's
I
very
want.
important that you say that because you really got to stop and think, who do you want to be in order to get that success? And then you have to define
Where do
it
you see yourself? Yes. Yes, absolutely.
because some people be like, I'm a drug addict or I'm a failure just because their parents told them they were a failure. And they go through life thinking they are, but no, who are you? You stop and figure out who are you. That's someone's opinion of you that doesn't have to be your reality.
Right. And it's not an easy thing to do. We have, like I said before, we have to let go of bad habits.
Yeah.
You have to make a decision that this is something that I want to do. And until you make that decision that this is what you want, it's not going to happen for you. Like waking up, knowing that you have an early morning at 5 a.m., so you shouldn't be partying Friday night. You shouldn't be partying all weekend and you
Mhm.
expecting to be great on Monday. You cannot be great on Monday if you haven't prepared yourself for the week. So to get me ready on Saturday, I'm home with my family. Sunday is quiet time with God and in ministry to myself. I'm talking to myself. It's just moments for myself to help me prepare for the week. I get my gym clothes out for the week. I already know what I'm eating for the week. I've prepared my grocery list over the weekend. I'm ready for my week. So you need to get prepared for your week. And it could be the simplest thing as getting 3 meals ready for the week. Have your gym clothes ready Monday through Friday, knowing what you're doing. You had those conversations on Friday, so you know what to expect for the next week, lining things up, getting things ready for next week, having a schedule, having a task, having a routine, saying, positive affirmations to yourself, reminding yourself daily of who you are, what you want, and where you're going. So that works for me.
Nice. I like it. I love it because you definitely have to have a set routine. Meal prepping as well helps set that.
Yeah, have a space where you can just get yourself ready. I have an office here in my home and, I hang up different inspiration things. Where I started, I'm going to show you this really quick.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So this is my office here. I have a photo of me.
Okay.
This is when I first bought my first property. And
Okay.
this is a moment where I felt that I was successful. So, those little things like that I put up just to remind me of where I've been and where I'm going.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
have my schedule up for the week. I already know what I'm doing. I'm prepared and just getting yourself ready. Just getting ready for next week. Yeah, what's next?
So if you don't plan, those who don't plan, plan to fail because
Plan
you
to
have to
fail.
have a
That's
plan
right.
every week.
You don't plan, you plan to fail.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely.
So I like what you said about success because it's definitely different levels. Because once you get to that level, you can't stop. You have to find something else because you lose it all.
You'll lose it
Yeah,
all. It
you,
doesn't stop. You got to keep grinding. Once you get to that level of, okay, this is who I am, I made it here. But then how you going to keep that? You have to keep that same momentum, that same attitude that got you there. Because if you lose what got you there, then you're going to be lost.
yeah.
So just keep on the same strategy that got you there.
I like the analogy of the bear. The bear is on every level, right? But each level the bear gets more fierce, more ferocious. So imagine you like climbing up a tree or something, and the bear is up top there, but there's food, there's water, there's good life, breeze, brother breeze. You're hungry, so you got to get past the bear. So you find a way to pass the bear, whether it's your bear could be addiction, bear could be self-doubt, whatever your bear is in that moment, but you gotta pass him. So you figured out a way, you pass him, you pass that challenge. You got to the food, you got to the water, the bear leaves you alone. But then you ran out of food, you ran out of water. There's a next level, there's another bear. But this bear is harder. He's rougher, he's stronger, he's more fiercer. And you
More
gotta figure out
challenging.
how to pass him.
That's right.
And at that level is probably another mental block that you have or another vice you're struggling with that you have to get, or whether it's alcohol, whatever, and
Whatever it
you
is.
gotta get
Correct.
past it. So now you gotta figure out, all right, how I gotta get past this bear because it's more stronger than the last one. And then there's the food on the other side. So are you gonna stay hungry or are you gonna go get it?
You got to go get it. And another thing, too, what I've learned, the people around you need to respect who you are. That's been another challenging thing for me because if you know where I'm trying to go in life and you know I'm trying to do certain things with my life, I don't need friends that's calling me to party. I need friends that's saying, hey, let me help you figure it out. You
Yeah.
understand? Let's sit down and figure out what's next. How can I help you in any way? How can I assist you? So that's my thing. I don't hang out with people that don't respect who I'm becoming.
So your circle of friends, the five most important people that you hang around, are the ones that
Correct.
can lift you up.
Right. They lift me up. So mostly all of my friends are real estate agents, tax preparers, successful people that have businesses. I do still have friends that have 9 to 5 jobs and I see them occasionally, but my everyday circle, I have to have a person that's texting me with the good morning team, good morning guys, good morning, what's going on? You have to have a team of people, in your network that's doing the same thing that you're doing that's going to help you get to the next level. So when you say how are you going to do this by yourself, you're not going to do it by yourself. You're going to build a network of friends and people within that career of what you're doing. So I keep a lot of those type of people around.
So you talk about setting clear boundaries and friends. So what are some of the things that you had to let go in order to get to your level of success?
Mm. Partying, hanging out, not taking care of myself, not having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
Procrastinating, that was a big thing for me. Procrastination, fear, doubt. What if I don't make it? What if I do? I remember when I sold my first house. I didn't think I'd do it, but I did. Then I sold another one. And then I sold another one for a higher amount, and it was just off me networking and opening my mouth saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent. If you ever need my services, I'm here. And I started telling coworkers, and before you know it, one of my coworkers was one of my biggest deals this year. His house sold for 590,000, and I sold another one for 590. Then I sold another one for 590. And it kept happening for me. But remember, it's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Yeah.
So you have to keep going. You may go out and put out 100 flyers and and get one call. You still got one call, you know, you still did something, to make it work. So just keep going. It gets better. And then that person is going to refer someone else and it's going to happen for you. I truly believe that. And just, who you are affects your work also. If you don't take care of yourself, it's going to show up in your work. So if you're a nasty person with yourself and you don't care about yourself, that language and how you feel is going to reach someone else. As far as you having an attitude, you had a bad morning. So that means when you answer the phone, it's going to be, hello, what? Your language is going to be different,
Yeah.
So take care of yourself, have time for yourself so you can take care of other people, because people rely on you, for a service. And if you're not well, then you cannot assist anyone, and that's bad business. So if I had to give any good business advice, it's take care of yourself.
Eating clean, sleeping right,
Eating clean, going to bed on time.
let go of
Yeah, my clock goes off at 11 o'clock. I'm in the bed, phone off. I wake up to praise and worship, and I start my phone calls around 9 o'clock.
mhm.
I take a break from 10 to 11. I'm at the gym, and that's mandatory. That's every day, Monday through Friday. That's my job. That's where I gotta be. You have to, give yourself non-negotiables.
Yeah.
I can't do this because I have to do that. You have to tell yourself, I have to do this. I can't do that because I have to do this tomorrow. So I can't party with you all night, Sammy, because I have to get up tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. I would take it to another level too because you talk about language. I would say not even have to because have to sound like an obligation, but it's an
Right.
opportunity. I get to do this. I get to wake up and go to the gym. I get to do this because most people are not able to do some of the stuff we're able to do. We're here on a podcast.
Correct.
Some people aren't. Some people are in the hospital, can't walk, and they wish they could walk, but you get an
Yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
So I would say take it to another level and say, I get the opportunity to go to gym at 10 o'clock in the morning to work on my mental and then get to go home and work on my business.
Absolutely.
So 100%, man.
Absolutely.
How do you deal with distractions?
When it comes to distractions, they're going to be there, but I don't engage in negative things. If someone calling me with something negative, I don't want to hear it. If it's something that's going to bring my spirit down, or if it's a friend that always call with a problem, I probably wouldn't answer. I probably text them back. I screen my calls every time. I screen calls.
Okay.
I screen calls. Like I just can't do it. It all depends. I just don't engage in negative thoughts. I try to be as less negative as I can. Yeah.
So
It works for me.
just controlling everything that goes in your mind and comes out.
Yeah, thoughts. And sometimes I can be an overthinker too.
Yeah.
Analyze everything. I'm very analytical. Like I analyze everything. The what ifs and did she really mean it like that? Maybe she didn't. So it's always good to really communicate with people and really, ask the question, hey, how did you feel about that? Or did you like the way I did that? Or should I have done something different?
Yeah.
Those are my responses to things. I just respond in a way where I don't put myself first. I put the other person first. So it all depends on what it is. But yeah, so when I'm being distracted, I just don't pay attention to negative thoughts.
Okay. So what is a silent fear or doubt that you've been dealing with?
A silent,
A silent fear or doubt that you've been dealing with, but you show up every day and still put the work in.
I really can't say, but if I had to say anything, sometimes going out can be a little bit discouraging, but I still go anyway. Like trying to go like door knocking or meeting people.
Okay.
Sometimes that can be very challenging because people, they're going through different things in the world right now, financially. So sometimes you might get a bad customer that's like, go away and don't knock my door again. So that can be very challenging and discouraging at the same time when you out and you're door knocking and people looking at you like, oh, you're some realtor, like get away from my house.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can be discouraging, but I just keep going. I'm gonna show up anyway.
Yeah. Nice. I like it. So we talked about a lot. Is there Something that you thought I would ask you that I didn't ask you.
You pretty much covered everything. Yeah. I don't know.
Nice. So, one of the last questions that I want to ask you, or a few more, how is important is it to having a strong support system on the way to success? We touched on it a
Mm,
little bit.
having a support system is very important, but unfortunately, it doesn't always turn out that way. Things don't always turn out the way we expect them to. We think that people will be there for us, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't. We don't get supporters. It's very important that I share my career with my friends and let them know like this is what's important to me. I have about 5 good friends, and they always show up for me. And even if they can't make it, or if they can't show up for me, you have to show up for yourself. Show up for you, and that's the best advice I can give you. Just show up for yourself. Because there have been times where it was just me, you know?
Yeah.
The seats were empty at first. I did so many credit classes and maybe one person showed up for the class. I still taught the class like it was a room full of people. Show up for yourself, no matter what. Always give it 100%, whether it's one person in the room or 10 million people in the room. You still show up, you still do your presentation, still present yourself.
I like that. Tina, thank you for coming on here. I also want to ask, what was one of the sparks that really got you to entrepreneurship and real estate?
Go get a want it.
The
I
one.
can't give up. My father came all the way here from Haiti just to make sure that he gave himself a better life. He was an immigrant, and I got the opportunity to be born here, and I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's my father's love that keeps me going, and he's no longer with us.
Condolences. Sincerely. I
Sincerely.
know how hard it is losing your
Yeah.
dad because I've recently been through the same thing. So that driving force, those values, passing the torch on and taking care of it is definitely something powerful to keep pushing through.
Yes. You gotta push through.
Then my last question for you would be for somebody who wants to figure out how to create a tax business or get into taxes, what are some things or some of the tips that you would tell them to get into that area?
Would say, what would be the purpose of becoming a tax preparer in the first place? What is it that you like? Why would you want to be a tax preparer? Because it's not something everyone wants to do because it have its challenges. Trying to solve people problems. And a lot of people have a lot of financial problems. And the reason why I started my tax business because I first started noticing that the people who credit I was repairing had a lot of financial issues. And the reason behind their financial issues were because they wasn't managing their money well. And then they wanted to do other things like purchase homes. And I was looking at their tax returns and trying to figure out how can I help solve this person's money issues so that they can be eligible to purchase a home. So once I got into that, and that's the reason behind why I became a tax preparer because I wanted to solve people's money problems. And you have to know what your why is. And that was my why. So it's a purpose for everything. You can't just,
Have to
I
have a
want to be a
reason.
tax preparer. Okay. Why?
So, do you believe that you're walking in your purpose now?
I truly believe that I'm walking in my purpose. This is absolutely where I'm supposed to be in this defined time. This is who I am. This is what I am. And I'm going to die doing this.
Awesome. So, Tina B, I want to thank you for coming on here,
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
sharing your knowledge, sharing your wisdom.
It's a pleasure to, be here with you and sharing this experience. You getting to see who
Yeah.
I am, from then and now.
Yes.
You truly know who Christina LaFrance is because you've been there through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the front row
From
seat.
from the start, man.
Yes, and I'm very proud of who you are and, what you're doing in your life. I'm very proud of you as well.
Thanks. Same to you. Same to you. You're
So
incredible.
cheers to success and, you know, future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm taking all those blessings. So, guys, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in on another episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. If you like this and it resonates with you, anything that Tina said today that resonate with you, go ahead and click the link below, connect with her, comment, share your thoughts, share your feeling, tell us what resonated with you and what you like most about this episode. And if you want to connect with Tina, her links are going to be in the bio as well, or in the description as well. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you
Thank
on the
you.
next episode of Be Inspired Podcast. Thank you, Tina.
Good night.
How's that for you, man?